One thing that people criticized her for, and I initially fell into, was her lack of emotion. But looking back at this movie, no, there's actually quite a lot of emotion on display. It's just she's a stoic Western character as a girl. Like I don't know if you've seen any of the old like Western movies. The protagonist is typically stone faced, hardened, well, battle hardened the entire time. They're not allowed to cry. They're not allowed to. Typically, don't shout unless they need to tell their enemies to back off or things like that.
That a stoic Western character.
Yeah, they look like me on a regular basis.
So from what I heard, like some people just didn't like her acting.
That too, and I'll get into that as well.
Yep. Also, I think mainly her social media, because social media, when you're saying your opinions on social media, everyone gets angry.
Save that for a little bit later.
Yep.
I want to get back to the original point, though. To be fair, it is established in this movie that she has been taught to suppress her emotions to be a warrior, and this movie is kind of her coming to grips with, no, I really don't have to. Actually, my powers are emotions. I got to admit, there's a lot of better actors than her in this movie. So Nick Fury, as always, or Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know her real name, but the lady who plays Maria Rambeau is actually kind of phenomenal. It's crazy. She made me believe that she lost a friend, only to then find out, no, actually, her friend is still alive.
Yeah.
The little girl who plays Photon is also pretty, well, she's not Photon yet.
Yeah.
Actually, that's spoilers. I think the biggest problem with this character is it's just Superman with an attitude. If you think about it, her powers are actually very simple, but they're, as far as like how they work, vague as shit. Yeah. Just like Superman. Her limits are very undefined, just like Superman. And she relies on the same thing over and over, but that same thing is so effective that it destroys anything in her path.
Just like Superman.
Yes. And she also falls into the same writing trap that a lot of recent Superman writers have fallen into, of making Superman this very bland, boring character.
Yeah. Which is why people probably didn't like her as much. Mm-hmm. Subconsciously, they've seen so many Superman movies.
Although, I think I like her better than Superman because she does have an attitude. Whereas Superman is like this very stand-up, do-well, do-gooder guy. The face of superheroes, rather.
Well, I think Superman hasn't been done right in recent years. Some of the past things he's done better.
I don't doubt that. It just I think that aspect of she has an attitude makes me, and she isn't as powerful as Superman. She does have some weaknesses as opposed to Superman.
There's like some weaknesses, yes, but she's still very overpowered.
Yes.
Marvelous.
Like I said, this is female empowerment, the movie. So you mentioned Stand Back Up. I don't know if you caught the other themes of female empowerment in this movie.
I caught the other themes. I just didn't want to add political discourse.
Oh, it's not even like that serious. Like, you know,
so, some people will take it that serious. I don't know if you want to jump into that in the movie.
Well, let me list off the things that I mentioned, and I'll let you tell me if they're like political at all. You know, get back up.
No.
You got knocked down. Just get back up.
Okay.
Oh, okay. This might be political. Stand up to oppression / men. Don't let men tell you what you should be able to do.
That will get political sometimes, but I agree with that. But like, I don't want to get political.
All right, you know, get emotional. It's okay to be emotional.
It's okay to get emotional. Just sometimes some people don't have time for it.
It's okay to show emotions. Actually, I think that's something a lot of people, men and women today, could use.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
Oh, that one's fine.
You know, she initially fell to propaganda and became a soldier, only to find out, oh wait, I'm not really this person. And
then she became a weapon to try to stop them. Which is why I didn't really mention it, because you kind of didn't change that much.
Yeah. You have nothing to prove to anyone, really. But
you have to prove some people have to prove it to themselves. That's why I didn't mention that, because some people want to prove it to themselves they can do it.
There's also themes of trust in this movie, but that's not exactly a female empowerment message.
No. I'm not good at themes, really.
No.
Not much, because I mainly watch the movie to see. Then I think the themes like much later.
That's what I'm here for.
Yep.
I don't share the sentiment that this movie goes like too fast in the beginning. I personally think that it falls apart dramatically, like after the climax, I guess would be.
Yeah.
It's particularly during her girl boss montage. So that where she's like confronting the Supreme Intelligence and she's learning to stand up for herself and things like that. It's everything after that, the movie just kind of falls apart for me. Everything else is like okay. It ranges from okay to pretty good. This movie like really falls apart after that. She gets
all her powers at once.
Yeah, imagine if when Goku was fighting Frieza, he jumped from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan God. Like, that's how it feels in this movie.
Yeah, the ending, I should have said something about that. The power she just gains, and like all of a sudden she's super good at everything.
It's just a little bit too much power for what actually happened in this movie. Because she goes from struggling to fight 4 people to defeating an entire fleet by herself without breaking a sweat, which is why they run.
Yeah.
You're not fighting that thing.
I just used to Ronan and the Accuser like fighting like the entire planet. I don't think Accusers would hold back.
Well, it's not so much that he held back, it's that she's just that powerful. Like, as you saw, she did some Sonic the Hedgehog shit, where she, like, ran through a ship, and it exploded behind her.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know how you... There is no counterplay to that. You just cut your losses and leave at that point.
True. But, like, it was too much power, I guess I should say.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much power for what actually happened in this movie. Also, it's preceded by, like, one of the most ham-fisted girl boss moments ever. I fall, but then I get back up. And I get back up. And I fall, but I get back up. Because I'm a strong, independent woman who don't... things like that.
Yeah, that's that. I didn't want to mention it because...
Do you girls at home feel represented?
Probably not.
Is that what the girls needed? A girl falling and then getting back up? Let me know in the comments below.
Yeah, I feel like that was a little hand-fisted, but I didn't want to get anyone angry, so I just didn't say anything.
Oh, I'll get everybody angry. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, can I say
yeah,
it?
go for it.
This movie, at like near the end, showed like their beliefs and showed what they believe in. Very forefront, did not hold back. And I'm like, okay, can we get to the story?
For me, it's not even so much the political beliefs. It's whatever. It's just how poorly they did. It's just so forced. I fall and I get back up, but I get back up.
I don't think it was the best.
I don't need to prove anything to anyone.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let a man tell me what to do.
But sometimes that's not always something we can do. Sure, if you have like all the superpowers in the world and you're like a protector, maybe. But like some guys are your boss.
Like, I'm not saying that's a bad message either. Like, yeah, women really do need to stand up for themselves nowadays. But man, you really don't have to. You don't have to beat the audience over the head with it, man.
Yeah, beating over their head was a little overboard. They did not hold back. They beat it over. That's why people didn't like it as much. Captain Marvel actually failed. I heard from as a box office.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
Because people heard about the beating over the head message, and audiences don't like that.
So, like I said, this isn't a bad movie. In my opinion, it is above average movie, and there's a lot of the criticisms, like common criticisms, that I actually don't agree with. It just really falls apart towards the end.
At the end, you just get beat over the head, and that's what everyone hears about. That's what everyone heard about. Most people don't. I don't think most people watched the movie.